Hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Decentralized Masters podcast, your go-to source for everything in decentralized finance. I'm Tristan, and I'm here today with my co-host Filippo. John is out sick, so Filippo will be covering him for the first portion of the podcast today. We're here to guide you through the ever-changing world of DeFi, one strategy at a time. Every week, right here on Decentralized Masters. We go live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursdays to bring you the latest insights, updates, and tools to help you in the DeFi space. So, Filippo, how are you today?
Doing good, doing good. Getting prepared for this crypto summit. So I'm kind of, anxious to see how it's going to play out. If it's going to be positive, if it's going to be negative. And I did, since I will be here just for the beginning part of this stream. If you want, I can share what I'm expecting and what people can do in preparation for this event, which many people may think is going to be extremely bullish, but we do have to take it a bit more cautiously, in my opinion. I'll share my screen here.
Absolutely. I think our viewers would appreciate a little bit of strategy going into this summit thing. It might be, I was thinking maybe it'd be like a sell the news kind of event, everyone gets really everyone's anticipating it, everyone's really excited, and then we get to it and then everyone's like dump the coins.
Exactly. So you see my my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I mean, looking at the bubbles here, we get kind of an idea of what's pumping, and these are all coins related to the summit. So Move, we see Sui, that just has been added to this crypto potential reserve. I mean, we don't see like ADA actually is losing quite a lot today, but we start always from the bubbles to kind of get an idea of what's going on. And Link, for example, is another one that's associated to this potential reserve, or at least it has been mentioned because Link kind of ticks all the boxes. It's American made, RWA. It's already working with Swift. So Link, actually, I'm surprised it has not been performing, as well. Of course, the market conditions won't allow it, Link to perform well now. But once the market turns around, this one takes all the boxes at the end of the day, like if you're going to see. So first of all, if you want to follow what's, I see one of the best people updating on who will attend this summit, Eleanor Terrett. She's basically doing a great job in showing us who's going to basically come. So we see some big names like Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple. We see, what's his name? Vlad from Robinhood. Then we have from Kraken here, Arjun, Sailor, of course, Brian Armstrong from Coinbase. So these are all the ones that are. Excuse me.
Sergey, you got Sergey from Chainlink in there too.
Sergey, yes, and Nazarov, of course, from Chainlink, and then we have also here another visual of the people that are potentially attending, and Sergey is here as well. So I mean, big names, but then if you go and see, Charles Hoskinson has not been invited to the party. He actually shared a video on his profile talking about how he did not get invited yet, and he kind of threw some shade on this event. I think he was just a bit salty, but I think he threw some shade in the mix, and I think that contributed in the market correction today, because the market was going up, and then he came out and he said most likely there's not going to be many what did he say, like topics around, and not much will be discussed in terms of the actual reserve, the details and everything. Like I forget his terminology, but basically he discussed and he gave an insight or his belief that not much will be covered in this summit, like not much of substance. Let's say maybe many things will be mentioned, but not a lot of substance will be covered. So that's why I think this comment contributed in this little correction today. So don't be salty, my friend. Maybe last minute he's gonna be invited.
I wonder if his opinion would have been different if he had that invitation.
Exactly. Me too. I asked myself the same. Then, I mean, we have the Senator Loomis herself doubts that Trump's crypto reserve will launch soon, citing political roadblocks. Markets rallied on the proposal, but Congress remains divided. Trump's multi-crypto reserve lacks bipartisan backing. Loomis Bitcoin-only bill stalled in committee. Key Republicans call for a delay over funding concerns. So if she's saying this, I mean, we know already that this will happen. So also the news that broke out on Sunday wasn't something new. The market reacted like if they never heard about it. And so I kind of am fearing a sell of the news event. Like, so if you are trading based on this event, like if you are longing based on this event or trading with leverage, I would be cautious because it could be, just an event where they're going to mention things that we already know. So nothing new is going to be mentioned. Like, I think there's no way that they're going to come up with a detailed explanation on how the reserve will work. Because there has been so much backlash in terms of, all these other coins being inserted in the reserve. So maybe, they have been reading and have been reacting to the sentiment or the general backlash that came from this. And maybe they are gonna, postpone and think it through, because there's a possibility that there's going to be like the Bitcoin reserve, and then there's going to be this sovereign wealth fund, which is going to include all the beautiful American-made company, projects and whatnot. But Bitcoin has to be separated from them. Honestly, I think something like this would make more sense, and I personally think that not enough time passed for us to basically have a concrete, plan of action in terms of how this will work. So, if people are expecting that, maybe you should rethink about it and think about how fast the market can react when when something positive is expected, but the expectations are so high that if we don't get the precise agenda of when the US will plan to buy, of course the reaction will be going the opposite way. So be careful out there. Exactly, be careful out there. If you already didn't trade before this, maybe it's not worth it. Just keep your eyes on the summit. It's gonna be at 1:30, I believe, at Eastern time. But then we have here Nansen coming out, sharing World Liberty Finance portfolio. Actually, I don't even follow them. I follow them. They are stacking up. Here's what they're holding. So they've been buying ETH like no tomorrow.
Could you real quick just tell the audience who World Liberty Finance is?
Sure. So World Liberty Finance is the platform that has been basically created by Trump, and it theoretically is going to be a centralized platform because it's KYC required. So it's going to be like just like your typical Coinbase or Bybit or Binance. But it has been founded by the Trump administration, essentially, and Trump and his entourage, and they have been, buying a lot of the same projects, to be honest. And they have been adding a lot of ETH recently, and they have been buying Move, which could explain this today. And then they have been buying also like Sui, and there are some more. So here we can see that there's a bunch of ETH transactions, and Nansen, you can follow their profile to see any updates regarding them. But maybe, I don't know, they know something we don't know. Let's see. Then here there's this article where Lutnik, which actually I'm not even sure who he is. I believe he's the Howard Lutnick tells today that the President Trump will unveil a Bitcoin reserve strategy. Right, on this news, the market started rallying, I believe today or yesterday. So basically, these were his words, which I kind of found interesting. So Lutnick suggested Bitcoin would receive a unique status under Trump's plans. A Bitcoin strategic reserve is something the president's interested in. He spoke about it all during the campaign trail, and I think you're going to see it executed on Friday. So Bitcoin is one thing, and then the other currencies are other crypto tokens. I can think will be treated differently, positively, but differently. So basically, this is kind of what I was talking about before, that Bitcoin has to be treated one way and all the rest probably will be treated separately, like a sovereign wealth fund. So, I mean, if they go into detail with this tomorrow, it could be something, that could be actually result positive and say, Bitcoin is going to be used for this and as a strategic reserve, treated as gold, as digital gold, and all the rest is going to be kind of like a wealth fund. So these are his words, and you may be, hopefully it's going to play out positively, right? But let's see. Then, I mean, if you notice, there has been a complete meltdown in the Dixie. So the Dixie is the U.S. USD US dollar price.
Yeah, US dollar index.
US dollar index, sorry. And it has broken down here today. And basically, usually this is a great sign for risk assets. So for anything that's considered risk on, usually this is the first signal which we look at, or one of the signals we look at or consider when expecting like a Bitcoin rally. So here Rand comes out and he says the DXY is down, the oil is down, inflation down, M2 is up, and gold is up. You know what happens next. So basically, I do agree with this. The problem is also there's many other factors playing in at the moment, like tariffs, geopolitics. So unless all that is not taken care of, we could see some delay in the Bitcoin run. Yeah, and this goes and shows the pattern of the previous term Trump attended. It shows how the dollar index, came down slowly here but surely, and how it's looking right now. So it kind of came down, and if this pattern plays out, usually it's very positive for Bitcoin specifically. Then we have here to prove that the M2 money supply is starting to come back up. Here, basically, was from August 2016 to January 2018. So the 2017 cycle, let's call it. This was how the M2 behaved essentially, and the red line is how it's behaving right now. So it's very similar pattern. We are at the beginning here, and we didn't break through yet. But if we do, we could expect something similar. And actually, there's a very interesting very interesting theory here covered by Colin Talks Crypto, that the global M2 money supply predicts BTC price and S&P 500 move up. So he calls the approximately the date of when this will happen, when Bitcoin will start actually moving, is March 25th. He calls it very precisely because, I mean, there's not a guarantee, of course. It's an observation. Let's watch together and see what happens. So here he goes in a lot of detail why this could happen, and basically he shows how there's a lag between the M2 and the day that basically this movement is priced in the markets, which usually, I believe he says, around 72 days after the first move upwards is, like, for example, when this pivots. So this was right now there's no date here, but I think when this move upward happened, this was like around something like 35 days ago. And so he's saying that there's a lag of the Bitcoin price action, and usually it takes time for this money to be injected into the markets. So essentially he's saying that according to previous movements and previous behaviors, there's 20 days left now for this to occur, essentially. So for this lag to be breached, and I mean, let's wait and see. It's an observation, of course. He says there's not a guarantee, but he's calling for March 25 or 25th for this to actually play out. And I guess these are all observations we can keep in mind, but never take these as certainty. Of course, we'll see if he's going to be right regarding this movement. But that's definitely what makes me positive about the entire market situation right now. But it is true that also the stock market is not looking great recently, and I think that all this tariffs and all this
noise.
Yes, all these situations that are happening with the administration could be a way to have a washout in the stock market, and kind of reset the building blocks, and then to have a more prosperous, like, long-term movement in the Trump administration, specifically, like in the 4 years to come, or the 3.5 years to come. So this initial turbulence is all hopefully designed to then give us a better, a longer and healthier move upwards. So it could be that the stock markets will postpone the Bitcoin, the end of the Bitcoin bull run, because there is an observation here that I said from Bob Lucas, showing that the stocks are spooked for good reason. A new cycle is now due, but the structural breakdown is becoming more defined. So he's talking about how this structure from the S&P 500 is could be like a head and shoulders. And actually Colin here replies here. So I mean, it's all information that we have to always assess and then come up with our own opinions. And this is looking at the actual stock market, S&P 500 here. It is this is probably what's bringing crypto down recently, like the actual stock market. Like, there's no problems with crypto, right, essentially, but the issues are more relating to the traditional stock market, which has been going up significantly, but needs kind of maybe a big washout like this before we can kind of start good momentum, let's say.
Yeah, the S&P 500's had quite the losing streak last week or so.
Exactly. Yeah, it has been really. Look at the weekly candles here. Yeah, the past 3 weeks have been, have been just red, red, red. So losing, 7.2% on the S&P is a lot of money, and but it
For
is
the
correct.
S&P, not in crypto. That's nothing.
So that like could
It's just
happen
Tuesday.
in one. Yeah, but in the stock, in the S&P, that's like a huge loss. But yeah, so basically, I think that maybe like the only thing that's holding back crypto is this, and the tariffs added on top of this, and all the geopolitics that are, events such as the war. So hopefully, the best scenario would be probably a fine, like a nice correction in the stock market, so that the crypto can bounce first and fast, because it always bounces the fastest. And then from there, hopefully the end of a war, and then from there we could see the actual, big price movements that we are all expecting. So let's see. That's kind of my take. So I hope it was clear enough. Is there any questions from you, Tristan?
So questions from me, not initially here. I definitely agree with a lot of what you're saying here, though. Is I do think we're kind of at a very serious point right now, very critical. We're not exactly sure where we're going, but we could easily break down and go down even further. But we do have some positive things in the market right now as well that kind of show us that we are potentially moving up. We have some questions in commenters at the moment. Suxen says, "Is gold and silver backing crypto?" Not exactly, Suxen. So like gold and silver have some qualities that are similar to Bitcoin. Bitcoin and gold are both seen as a store of value. So they hold their value against inflation of the currencies. So US dollar, Canadian dollar. But gold has been doing a little bit better than Bitcoin lately. So on general crypto, it's a flight to safety. People use gold when they want more secure. They want to secure their finances. They want something that is going to continue holding value.
Yeah, there is a crypto that is backed by gold, but it's essentially like buying gold, and it's called PAXG. I don't know if you ever heard about it, Soxam. PAXG is basically Pax Gold, and it's it's offered on many centralized exchanges. You can buy it on Uniswap as well. And essentially, if you want to have exposure to something less volatile in crypto, you just buy Pax Gold. And let's say if you don't want to buy USDC or USDT, you can DCA slowly into PAXG. And it's like if you're holding gold, and this is backed by real gold. So one token equates to 1 ounce, I believe, of gold in these vaults that are held in these vaults in I believe in London. And yeah, but I think there's nothing for silver, because silver actually looks, I like the chart a lot for silver.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at
There's some things for silver out there. It's just none of them are none of them are like on any centralized exchanges yet. They're not that same. They don't have that same reputation that PAXG has.
Right. So basically, yeah, they're not. If there's no certainty or that there's no backing, yeah, it's basically like buying any other, meme coin out there. But if they actually have a proof of backings and stuff like that, such as
Proof of silver.
silver, yeah. For Pax Gold, we know that there's there's a lot of they have been there forever, and they're very, very, they built them a great reputation essentially. But yeah, just gold up here. I mean, I'll pull out the entire chart. It is like, I mean, it's on a very big uptrend. So I wouldn't go all in on gold right here, but a steady DCA into gold has always played out pretty well. I mean, we are definitely. I would rather buy Bitcoin than gold, but if you want to diversify and be in something that's less volatile, PAX G is the way to go, other than stablecoin, of course. But
other than buying gold bars.
other than buying gold bars, or gold coin, stuff like that. But that's kind of what I'm expecting. So don't be too excited about this, crypto summit. You can tune in and see what they're discussing, but I personally am not expecting many things that we don't already know. Then I hope to be wrong, but yeah, that's kind of my take on the situation. I'll stop my. And before
excellent research.
Yes, of course. Before you start, Tristan, I do have to leave because I have a session right now, like in 3 minutes. So thank you for having me. As always, it's a pleasure. And
thank you for covering Jon. I'll see you later.
Hi, Jon, if you're looking.
Thanks, Filippo.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Looks like you guys are stuck with me now. We'll go through a few more questions here before I get into my presentation today. I'm going to cover a few things that Filippo covered today, but also some things that he didn't. So stick around for that. Mike says, hey, what's happening? Good to be here. Hello, Mike. How's it going? Mike always joins me in my private sessions for Decentralized Masters. Really great guy. Appreciate it, Mike, for tuning in. Ruth says, oh, I don't see what's the image you are discussing. We usually check to see, maybe you're using maybe you're just listening to us. Maybe you have to click on the window depending on what platform you're using to actually be able to see the picture. So without further ado, let me get into my presentation for you guys. All right. Excellent. So this is a presentation that I'd made yesterday for our private group. We do have a few things that are a little bit different in here, so I did have to alter it. But I did add some things that were fresh off the press today. So we will cover those. I didn't do any, I don't have Jon here today, so we don't have someone to do that beautiful technical analysis that Jon can do. However, I've done my best for you guys. Today, I did do a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin here. As you can see, I think we are in this kind of downward channel at the moment. As you see, we have that top over at that 106 kind of range that we topped out at. And then we've kind of been downtrending since. Haven't been able to break out of this range and to where we are today. I think this is a pretty critical junction, and it's coming at a very interesting time with this crypto summit. Is if we can kind of break out of this, as you can see here, my green line, if we can kind of break out of this channel here and hold above that 92,000 kind of range, 90, 92, and just kind of keep moving forward, breaking out of that channel. I would like to see us hold like 96,000. That would be a good sign. If we can hold 96, break out of this channel a little bit, that'd give me a lot more confidence in the market. And then we could potentially see that continued upward rally. There was lots of good points that Filippo made about the M2 money supply, liquidity in the market, inflation potentially coming down. If the inflation comes down, then we can see some more friendly decisions coming out of the Fed. I'll touch on that later again. But we also have, I'm not going to lie to you guys here. We also do have the possibility of also breaking down further from here. If we can't break out of that 96,000 kind of range, we can't get out of this channel, we can definitely see a further move downward here. I think hitting around that 72,000 mark, if we do break down, totally possible. Unfortunately, it is, we have this channel. It looks like it could be going that way. But with all this news coming out, we do have the opportunity to break up. So I am optimistic. I don't see us breaking down really below that 72,000 range, just because that was the range that we saw before the election. So under the Biden administration, which was a very unfriendly administration for crypto, for Bitcoin, we kind of peaked out around 72,000 during Biden. I don't see us dropping below that range now under the Trump administration, the most friendly crypto administration that we've ever had in the United States. So just as you can see here with the crypto summit, and then all this news is the Bitcoin reserve, Trump's family being heavily involved in crypto projects through their World Life financial entity they have. I don't see a reason, unless the bottom falls out of the economy or something, or the stock market, that we would move below $72,000 for Bitcoin at the moment. I just don't see that would be likely. So I think we'll hit definitely a strong support there if we do break down below there. But like I said, it's pretty critical at the moment, but I am optimistic. I do think we have the opportunity here to reclaim that 90,000 range, stay within there. If we can stay within there, we have all the chance to break into that six-figure territory again. Also, I wanted to show that March historically, well, at least since 2019, has been good for crypto. As you see here, we were up 16% in 2024. We're up 22% in 2023, 5% in 2022, almost 30% in 2021. So the last, 4 years or so for crypto, March has been historically a good month. Does that mean that it's guaranteed that March will be good this year? No. February was historically a good month. Is a good month for crypto. Only 2 red months in history for crypto in February. Bitcoin specifically. But of course, we had to break that trend this year and make a large downward momentum of 17% February. So, don't take historical trends as gospel. They are just trends. It can always change on the fly. So, but if it is a good sign. So it is good that March is usually pretty positive for crypto. Just going over what has happened in the news, so the news cycle so far, as it comes to Bitcoin, as it comes to crypto. Obviously, we had this announcement about the crypto summit coming up, and why it's important. In Trump's tweet here, he posted on his platform, Truth Social. They will elevate the critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the administration, which is why the executive order on digital assets directed by the Presidential Working Group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Sol, and ADA. ADA being Cardano. I will make sure that the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world, and we are making America great again. So in that tweet, they did mention XRP, Solana, Cardano, and Donald Trump did confirm later in a follow-up post to that they would have Bitcoin and Ethereum also in them in a strategic reserve. Like Filippo said, personally, despite being loving crypto and this is my career and life, I don't really want XRP, Solana, Cardano. I don't even really want Ethereum in my government's strategic reserve. I'd prefer that to be, that could be in a sovereign wealth fund, like Norway and Saudi Arabia. In their strategic wealth funds, they make investments in companies and projects, infrastructure projects around the world, and it has turned out really well for them. And I think it was only about a few weeks ago that the United States officially started their very own strategic reserve. So I don't see an issue with holding XRP, Solana, Cardano in those in a sovereign wealth fund. That's what a sovereign wealth fund is for. It's used for holding good projects, good companies, good assets. But a strategic reserve is something more like gold, right? That's what, like, the United States has a strategic gold reserve. So I would be more in favor of Bitcoin having its own strategic reserve. It belongs in one spot. Like, they'll have the the Fort Knox of Bitcoin for the United States. Maybe it's just a whole bunch of ledger wallets in a locked drawer somewhere, or locked safe out in Fort Knox or something, because you don't need a massive room of for your Bitcoin. Throw it on a few ledgers, throw it in a safe or something. Yeah. So that is kind of what I would have more in mind for a Bitcoin strategic reserve, and then they can have everything else in the sovereign wealth fund, kind of like what Filippo said. One other thing that kind of got overshadowed within this whole news cycle is the SEC employee buyout program. So many of you are probably familiar that the United States was kind of trying to flush out any employees in the government who don't really want to be working there or don't want to work under this administration. To each their own. So all these employees were given a buyout opportunity. So it was like, here's the salary of a year if you retire or leave now. So that was extended to most of the government employees. And then the employees in the SEC just received this as well. This is just to kind of move out people who are, unfriendly towards the crypto industry. They're giving them the option to, clear out so they can potentially hire new staff who are, more crypto friendly, who are more in line with the Trump administration. That is just a little bit of a good detail that was kind of overshadowed. This happened today, and this is probably why we saw SWI up on the crypto bubbles. Let me pull that up again. Yeah, so today you see SWI here up a whole 7%. SWI has been a darling among the decentralized masters mentors. Our mentors have been calling out SWI for months and months and months now. Just as we're quite positive on the whole project. So SWI has been having a good day. That is because of this specific event. Yeah, I want to move back to. Yeah, just because of this specific event. So the World Life Financial company, the Trump's investment company, I think run by Eric Trump, they added SWI to their portfolio today. So as we saw with Filippo's presentation there, they have lots of Ethereum in there, they have lots of Bitcoin, and they have several other tokens in there. Today, SWI was just added to that. So everyone is very excited about that. Having SWI being more involved with what is happening with the U.S. Administration is good news for all SWI holders. So all my clients out there and all my members who are SWI holders, congratulations. And hopefully we see more good news for SWI going forward. Another thing we should go now, we look forward. We're looking at the crypto summit. So this is my take. You see, it's my take on the whole situation is very similar to what Filippo was saying. We're going to see a bunch of important people from the crypto industry. They'll be attending this summit tomorrow. I myself will also be watching this summit tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. It should be interesting to say the least. But we have, some important people here that who will be attending. We got obviously, hopefully, Donald Trump, David Sachs, who is the AI and crypto czar. We have Bo Hines, the Michael Saylor, the madman himself. We have Brad Garlinghouse, Matt Huang, JP Richardson, Sergey Nazarov, the CEO and co-founder of Chainlink, Kyle Samani, Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase and Base Chain. Charles Hodgkinson hasn't received his invite yet, like Filippo said, so that might be why Cardano was down today, but he could still be attending. Maybe his invitation got lost in the mail or something, and as well as David Bailey. And I think there has been some more confirmations as of recently as well. Also, another little vote that is happening in the Senate is pertaining to stablecoins. This one's being overshadowed by the other big news that we're seeing here in March. This is just probably to bring a little bit more regulation, a little bit more certainty to what stablecoins could be, what their role will play in this economy going forward. It's very exciting. I think it's definitely possible within 1-2 years from now that we can go to a Walmart or a Costco or go to Amazon.com and pay directly with USDC or USDT. I know you can do it now, but that you with some workarounds and buying some gift cards or using some special credit cards, debit cards. Sorry. But I think quite shortly we'll see greater stablecoin adoption. I think this vote, the day March 10th for this vote, is a little bit strategic. And just saying that it's after this crypto summit that we're going to see from the White House. So they're just kind of probably wanting to see in the Senate what the White House is officially bringing, and then they'll make their move from there. Another very important thing that we have to keep our eye out for March is the Federal Reserve FOMC meeting. So we have Jay Powell once again going up on stage, and the Federal Reserve will be making a rate decision. Right before that, though, March 12th, so next week, we have the Consumer Price Index data. The Consumer Price Index data is just kind of seeing where inflation is at the moment. I'm not sure if you went to the grocery store recently, but things are still pretty expensive. We're still feeling that inflation a bit, but the economy is kind of turning down in a way, as you see with the S&P 500. Stock market has kind of fallen a bit here. And that is mostly just brought on by Trump's tariff war. What this could be is actually could be a strategic move by Donald Trump to affect the Fed. So get your tinfoil hats on. We're going a little deep on this. If Donald Trump is creating these tariffs, creating this tariff war, that will push the stock market lower. That will create uncertainty. That will spook investors. So we are seeing the stock market move down because of that. It is part of it's a hidden part of the Federal Reserve's mandate. The Federal Reserve's mandate is create jobs in the U.S. and keep inflation at 2%. That is their mission. However, jobs, you could also say, is part of this S&P 500. So if companies aren't performing well, that means they aren't hiring people. And if they can't hire people, then that is affecting the Fed's mandate. So in a kind of connected way, the Federal Reserve does have the hidden mandate of keeping the stock market up. So if Trump is pushing the stock market down, that is giving the Federal Reserve a reason to be more dovish to the market, and dovish being a little bit more friendly and not giving a reason to increase rates. So what my opinion is, this rate decision will depend very much on the CPI data. So if that comes in higher, obviously, I don't think we have a rate hike on the table. I think that would spook the market beyond belief, and then watch out below. But the worst, I think the worst thing that we could possibly see is they leave it alone. They don't cut, and they come out a little bit more hawkish than we would expect. I have my fingers crossed that won't happen. We have M2 money supply that's going back up, and and inflation is still with us, but I don't think that it's as crazy as it was before. But that's just from, I guess, my consumer observation. The best case scenario is they actually move to cut rates in this market, this next Fed meeting. And then we would see the stock market and crypto react very nicely to that. We also want to see quantitative easing. So last time we had that bull market or that altcoin cycle, we had quantitative easing. Which is the Fed injecting more liquidity into the market, injecting more money into the market, into the economy. Right now we have sort of quantitative tightening, or they're just not really injecting too much. So right now that's just kind of going flat. So we would really like to see the Fed making a move on quantitative easing, because that would be a clear sign that we're potentially making that next stage up in the market. China has already moved on to quantitative easing at the moment. They just injected a lot of liquidity into the economy, in their economy at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if the United States follows suit, and that they might do it anyway, just because of this potential trade war. And China is a large target of Donald Trump to put tariffs on. So things in the market are pretty exciting, very interesting, and I am optimistically cautious on the market. I think we can definitely break up to the upside or to the downside super easy. Let's see if we got any questions here. We got another question from Mike. I am overexposed to SWE at the moment. Well, Mike, we don't want to overexpose ourselves to anything, but it happens. It is good news though. I think SWE is an excellent project. I have my little SWE wallet that up in my corner here. So I am a fan of SWE. I don't think you're wrong to be holding it. Maybe trim back a little bit of exposure. Put a little bit into PAXG or something. Put it into your stablecoin liquidity pools that we teach in our private sessions. You could always get a yield during bear market. So if we're moving during this volatile market that we're in right now, the people who have these stablecoin positions in their portfolios, they're still making money, and they're taking that money and they're buying tokens like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like SWE, like Solana. They're taking that money that they're earning in their stablecoin liquidity pools and buying the other tokens at a cheap price. So the role of the stablecoin liquidity pool in your portfolio is pretty important. But just to bring my point back to SWE here, I think you are definitely okay to be holding SWE. Awesome news for me in that case. Yes, you are definitely all right in that case. Let's double back I'll pull up my trading view for you guys here. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in your comment section, whether you're watching this on Facebook, Twitter, X, same, YouTube. Put your questions in the comments here, and I can definitely double back to them. We got another 10 minutes here, but I will pull up the price chart on Bitcoin, see if I can do a little bit of technical analysis. I know my chart that I showed you there was a little bit old, but let's see. Well, it's a day old. Things change though. Excellent. Yeah. So at the moment, I have the Fibonacci's on at the moment. We did drop down below. We got kind of into this range, and we did recover. But let me draw a little channel here. Yeah, this is the channel that I was kind of talking about in my presentation. There is we are kind of making lower highs and lower highs and lower lows. We did drop below 80,000 briefly last week. So yeah, it's a little bit of a critical point in the market, but if we can hold this support here, so uh, we've kind of hit we kind of hit a resistance here at the 90,000 level. The old it was 90,000 was an old support. So in early in February and January, we weren't breaking below 90,000, and that was our support. When we did break below 90,000, 90,000 became our resistance. So we kind of, especially like if you see right here, that we kind of hit 90,000 and struggled to get above it. Getting above 90,000 and staying there, that would be a very good sign for a continued trend upward. But yeah, it's a critical moment. We can definitely see we can definitely see if we can break above 90,000, we can go up. Hopefully there'll be some good news from this crypto summit that will push us in that direction. But if we don't have if we don't have the momentum to push us above 90,000, we can definitely go back to this 70,000, 72,000 kind of range, and we don't really want to see that. I know some of our members and some of our people watching this have been in Bitcoin for a long time. So, they bought in 30, 40, 50. And so it's all kind of relative to them. But for people who are just getting into now, we do want to see, higher Bitcoin. And, sooner the better, as always. But we can't predict the markets. Crystal ball is broken at the moment. It's in the shop. I'll probably won't have it for a little while. So it's all we can do is just kind of DCA strategy. So dollar cost average, buy a little bit of Bitcoin every week, so you always have a little bit of a lower average. But yeah, it's a very critical time. But we will be watching I will be watching the crypto summit tomorrow. Maybe we might even have a live stream. Keep an eye out on the YouTube channel. We might have a live stream of us commenting on the things that are happening. I think I can potentially persuade our managers to do that. I think that would be a good use of our time. If you want that, drop in the comments below. But for that, unless we have anything new, I am going to end the stream for now. As always, everyone, thanks for tuning in this week. I hope you're walking away with clear strategies and insights to push your DeFi journey forward. Remember, DeFi is evolving fast, and staying ahead means taking action with the right knowledge. If you're ready to dive even deeper and want a roadmap to build your own DeFi success, check out the DeFi Masterclass. The link is in the description below. In the training, you'll receive clear hands-on strategies, maximize returns, manage risk, and truly make the most of what DeFi has to offer right from our CEO, Tan. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss next week's live episode. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and I will see you right here next time on Decentralized Masters. Bye, everybody.